Hi, I'm Marilyn San Clemente of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my creative playground. Tonight I'm going to share with you the new Paper Florist Dies, which are really cool, and they allow you to make some 3D flowers. Okay, so I love this new paper flower set, and they're falling off. It's the Paper Florist Dies, and they make all different kinds of 3D flowers. So I've been playing around with it for a few days. This is just a couple of cards. Actually, I shouldn't say I've been playing around with it. Julie and I have been playing around with it. And as you know, Julie's my helper, and she was here yesterday. She designed the layout for these two cards. So there's a couple of different parts to this die. Separated mine. I like to put mine on magnetic sheets. So I separated mine into, this is the pieces that go in the center of the flower. So minus one thing here. So this is a tulip. That one makes a really cool tulip, and I'll show you how to do that. And then these are all the different flowered center pieces. And what's really cool is you can cut all different sizes. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different sizes and types of circles or scallop circles. And then there's these cute little tiny flowers. And I've actually been using those for the centers of daisies and stuff. And then there's a couple of different types of leaves that you can use as well. And then there is this thing, which is really cool, and that makes this piece, which you roll up and then you can fan it out, and that makes a really cool flower center. And here's a really cool one that I did. So you roll it up and then you can fan out the center of it, and it makes it like a really full center to a flower, which I thought was really cool as well. So so those are kind of the components of the flower, and then these are the petals. So I separated those onto a separate magnetic sheet. So there's 4 different types of petals for the flowers, and what's really cool is they're all connected. So when you cut this out, so if you run this through your cutter twice, you can either make 2 thick flowers or you can make 4 smaller flowers, and that's this one here, and I'm going to show you how to put that together. And then this one's really cool. This makes these split leaves, and you just need to run this through your cutter twice, and you've got more than enough for one, either a thick flower or you can make a smaller, thinner flower. And this makes kind of a daisy type of thing. This one is my least favorite of the ones that I have put together, because they're not evenly spaced and it's hard to get it spaced, and I'm one of those people that likes really symmetrical things, but I'll show you some of those. This will make either small daisies, large daisies. If you mix them up, you can make dahlias because you've got different sized leaves and things. So those are the flower stems, and then of course we also have that little tulip here, and then we've got the leaves. So there's 5 different flowers, or 5 sets of petals you can use to make different flowers. And I'm sure there's some flowers that I haven't thought of if I were to combine some of the petals and things as well. So these are the pieces that you get that are part of the set, and these are some of the different flowers that you can make. Here's the tulip. Here's the daisy that's made with the set that is not quite straight, and like I said, it's really hard to get it to fill out, but maybe that's the way they are. This is the straight one. So you can make a smaller flower just by cutting a bunch of those and layering them together, or you can make a little bit larger flower by using 2 different sizes, which is what I used here. And then this one I used this particular flower. So I did that, and I did this, and I did this, and then these are these pieces here. Okay, so here's a smaller one, and here's a larger one. And again, this one does a smaller flower. Or I'm sorry, this one is the larger one, and then you can also add the smaller one to the top of it and make a thicker flower. Or you can make them two different sizes. And this is, so this piece is this flower, and this one is this flower. And then this fun one that has this little slit in it, I'm going to show you how to do those. And that's, you curve it and you bend them, and you can make these really huge 3D flowers. And again, you can keep adding more to that and making it bigger and bigger and bigger as well. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then I'll show you how to do this really cool centerpiece too. Together. Now the other thing that I did was I kind of went through our embellishments, and I love those iridescent rhinestones that pick up just about any color that is around them. So those are really, really good for the centers of the flowers. I've used it here, and I used one here. And the other thing that I found that's really good for the centers of the flowers is these new sets that we have, the Tinsel Gems. And there's two different packages. There's a 3-pack and a 4-pack. So there's 7 colors in total, and they're different sizes, but they're a lot of the new popular colors. And these also make really good embellishments for those flowers as well. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so if you look at the back of the catalog, the new catalog, here's an example of all the different flowers. So here's a smaller one that's got 3 pieces. Here's one that's got 6. And they just made all different sizes. And then they also brought the daisies in from the Cheerful Daisy set as well. So, and some of the ferns from that set. But you can see that they used a lot of different things and different combinations, and that kind of gives you a really good idea of some of the things that you can do with this as well. Let's start with the easy one first. Let's start with the tulip first. And I'm going to pull out, so I was looking for cardstock that retired that I can use so that you can see what I'm doing, and that I didn't care if it got messy. So I found this piece of Melon Mambo, which is a color that I am going to miss because I really like that color. That's probably the only color of all the colors that I'm going to miss. Okay, so to do the tulip, let me show you that first. You're going to take it, this is the front side, this is the side that was cut, and then this is the back side. So I flip it over to the back side. You're going to need either the fine tip glue, the Tombow glue, what I call the green glue, but you're going to need glue. And what I do is I just put a little drop of glue on here. And then you got to remember that this is the back side of it. And then I put the flower on top. Oops. And the good thing about glue is you can kind of slide it around for a minute or half a minute. There we go. Okay. And what I like to do when I'm doing these types of things is I have these little trays like this, and I have all my pieces separated out in the trays. So, okay, so there is our tulip, and it just needs to dry. This could be a pansy. There's a few different types of flowers that this could be. But I like to start with the larger one. And I'll take a glue dot and my Take Your Pick tool. Yep, there they are. Been using a ton of glue dots with this. So the adhesive that I have found that works the best for this is glue dots and the fine tip. I've been using the fine tip glue pen for it. Okay, and then what I like to do is I just take my nail and I kind of bend the center in, and then you can also take a bone folder or a pencil or something like that, and you can work with the petals and kind of soften the petals up and give some curvature to them. And you can make them curve in or you can make them curve out. whatever way you'd like. There we go. That's pretty. I like that. And then there's all these different centerpieces that I was showing you in here. So I'm just going to use a little drop of glue. On that. Centers that I've cut. And let's do this little yellow one. That's pretty. I'm going to put another drop of glue on here. There we go. So this to me looks like a pansy. Oops. In fact, I have pansies on right by my front door right now. Yeah, so that to me looks like a pansy. And then let's put the small one together. So all you do is kind of cross them. Okay, and then fold up or fold back, whichever. Okay, and then for this one, let's put this in the center. Okay, so there are those. This is a piece of white, and I did this a couple of different ways to make two different types of flowers, but what I wanted to do was color these in a little bit since they're white, and I thought it would be really pretty to do white with just a little bit of pink. So I used a blending brush, and I used the Bubble Bath ink, and I just colored just a shadow on these, and then on these I dipped the edge of the flower in the ink, kind of like this. And I went around and then I filled in the center just to give it a little bit more definition. So let's put this one together. I had started to work on that. So to do this, you take this piece, and what I did was I worked it with a bone folder just to get the paper a little flexible and give it a little bit of a curl. And then I fold it like this, and I used a glue dot in the center there to hold it together. And for something like this, a glue dot seems to work best, because if you were to just glue that, you would have to hold it for, half a minute or so for the glue to dry. But with the glue dot, you can kind of manipulate it a little bit, and you can make it as curved as you want, or as open as you want. Okay, so there's one. So let me show you, let's put this one together. This is the one where I colored the edge of the flower and then colored the inside of the petal. So I'm going to use another glue dot. Now this one, okay, I actually need another glue dot in there to hold it a little bit more, because it's the last piece on, so it's got to kind of pull more layers in. Okay, there we go. That looks better. Okay, so now what I would do is, okay, I'm going to take this bubble bath piece, I'm going to put that in the center. It kind of covers up the seams where all these pieces meet. we're going to take this, and first I'm going to kind of separate some of these so they're a little more pliable. And then I'm going to just take a really tight, as tight as I can go. And then I'm just going to pinch it, and I'm going to pull these pieces out. And again, I'm going to pinch it. I'm just going to kind of move it around and pinch it, going different directions, and then pull these pieces out. You can see all that. There we go. And then let's put this in the center. Good. I'm going to hold that for a minute. Oops. Yeah, I'll have to hold that for a minute. Okay, so that is a white one that I colored with a blending brush, and I also went around the edge to get a little bit of a pink. There we go. Now it's in. Okay. And what I like to do is start with the larger one on the bottom. So as I mentioned, this is kind of a funky piece, and as you can tell, there's 5 pieces, but some of them are kind of bent in different ways. So what I was trying to do was put them together so that it fills in different sections, like this, kind of like that, except it doesn't quite work like that. And then use the smaller ones to go on the front to fill in some more. So stock up on your glue dots if you're going to do these. And they are beautiful. There we go. Okay, so there is our yellow daisy. That piece looks good on there. So again, this one comes with 2 large and 2 small when you cut it. So this one I just line up. This one's easy. This one makes a very symmetrical daisy, but actually I like the way that looks with that center piece. I hadn't used that center piece with that flower before. So there's just a million different combinations of things that you can do here. So if you only wanted a large flower, you could put 2 more of the larger pieces on. If you want a smaller flower that kind of, to me, looks like a dahlia, then I layer the 2 large and then the 2 small, and it kind of looks like a dahlia because it gives it a little bit more dimension, and not all the petals are the same length. But this is a fun set to play with. It takes some time and like really play with it to use it. Okay, throw that in the middle there. Okay, so there are the 4 different types of flowers that you can do with this set. And then now let's try and put this together. There's 3 different types of leaves. Let me get those out. So there's a grouping like this. There's a larger leaf, and then there's a cutout leaf. These come in the new Gorgeously Made set. It's this piece here that I've just cut. So I really like the way this look. I have the Bright and Beautiful paper, which has a lot of ombre patterns to it in all different colors. And then I also have this paper, which goes with the Gorgeously Made, and it's called Masterfully Made. And that has a lot of different colors in it. It has many, many, many different colors in it. So I have this piece, and I have that piece of different. So what I might do, okay, and then I cut a few different pieces of cardstock. So let's do this. I'm going to cut this down so that I can use this in the center. And I'm going to use that with a piece of this, which is the Berry Burst. Okay, and I just need to make some room here so I can get my cutter out. And I need to put my glue back together before it dries out. So for these glues, for the fine tip glue, I use my finger and I kind of guide the tip back into the metal and then screw it back on. And I have had this particular bottle for over a year. As long as you keep it closed and glued, it will work. Okay, so I'm going to score this at, oops, 4 1/4, and this is Berry Burst that I've cut to 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Okay, I'm going to cut a layer down of the fresh freesia, which I have right here, and then I will cut this to fit on that. Okay, so let's put that together. So I have my seal. Which I just refilled, so I just needed to get it started. So when you have a new seal and it's not rolling correctly, just take your thumb and just move it up, and then that just gets it started. And I forgot to grab white. Let's see if I have enough. I have a piece here, I do. Okay. Actually, let's just put one of these on for now. And so I'm going to use my glue. And I'm just going to dab on. Hold on. I don't want to get this on my card. Okay, so I'm going to dab on my silicone mat here. And what I'm doing is I'm dabbing glue kind of at the intersection where I have the most paper. So at the tips of the flowers, at the intersection of the flowers, or the leaves, I'm sorry, not flowers, the leaves. Okay, and I'm going to put this going up like this. And then the best way to let this dry is to take some blocks and put those on. Okay, so now let's figure out what we want to do, which flowers we want to use. There we go. Okay, so if we put this in the center, do that. Okay, so I'm going to put another one of these on. Actually, I think what I might do is just go this way, do a partial one. So I'm going to snip that. Oops. I guess I have to snip in multiple places. Okay, So I'm going to put some over here going this way, and I'm going to put more, oops, over here going this way. Okay, so we're going to put that in the center. I want to put this up here. I can put another one over here. I can put this daisy that I have. Okay, and then if I work these leaves in kind of underneath. Oops. And I forgot my tulips. No! Can't forget my tulips. So I could have a tulip coming there. I could also do a tulip coming this way, over here. And, okay, and then let's do some leaves. Let's add some more leaves in here. And how does that look? It's certainly not anything you're going to put in an envelope. As I mentioned, you could make a box. You could make a card box. But, okay, so let me take this apart. I'm just going to put them like this so I remember which ones go where. Okay, so that just needs to sit for a minute. So there is one of my cards. Let me put these over here. So this set is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play with. You need to have some time to work with it. Let me get this all centered and let me move this off. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, I did not put any embellishments on this, and as I was saying, the tinsel gems work really well, or these iridescent rhinestones. Okay, so that's my interpretation of the flowers and how to use the flowers. Thanks for stopping by today. Have a great rest of the week. Take care.